So welcome back, everybody. Dribble and Drive. We got a full slate of college hoops to talk about today. Got some NBA, maybe some NFL if time permits. But it's a huge college basketball day. So Houston is advancing to the Final Four. Houston is advancing to the championship from the Final Four. So is Florida. Surprised not seeing Duke there, but hey, we got a good upset that I'm not complaining about.
Yeah. So, I mean, coming into this game, like I was just saying, like if Houston wants a chance, they got to keep this below 75 points. And like you're sitting there with like 10 minutes left in the second half, and Duke I think had like 63. Like they were well on their way to score more than 75, and then all of a sudden Duke one field goal in the last 10 minutes. Like, dude, are you serious? Like, we have, like, Cooper Flag out there, Con Canoopel. You got all these guys, just bucket getters. They beat ones on any other college basketball team, and they just couldn't score.
Yeah, dude, they went 9 minutes, or was it 7 minutes, 9 minutes? Yeah, 7 minutes over. 7 minutes without a field goal. They had 58 points. They scored their last field goal with, like, 10 minutes. Had a free throw with, like, 9 minutes. They didn't score till, like, 2 minutes. Cooper Flag got a bucket.
Yeah.
Con Canoopel was disappointing for me because he shot the ball well, 3 for 5 from 3, I believe. But when they needed him most, he had a chance to go up 8 with less than a minute to go. He got blocked on the layup.
Yeah.
Down goes Houston, hits the 3, gets the ball back on the steal, gets another bucket, gets some free throws. All of a sudden, Houston's ahead.
Like, he played a lot better in the first half.
He did.
For sure.
He knocked down his shots, but, I mean, when they kind of needed him the most, needed a bucket from him, he couldn't come through.
No. Also, I wanted to mention, like, Duke was up 14. That was the largest comeback in Final Four history. I think something's got to be said in the fact that, like, Duke, like, they have the best players year in, year out, and they somehow just always find a way to not get it done. And you can't win every year, but this is like they haven't been to a championship in 10 years. Think of all the players that have gone through there between Tatum. You got Paulo Banchero.
Not Kyrie. Brandon Ingram.
Like, all these
Zion.
guys.
R.J. Barrett. Cam Reddish.
Yeah. Like, you can't grab one with all these guys. Even, what's his name? Grayson Allen.
Yeah. Have they even made it to a championship?
No, in 10 years they haven't made it.
Wow. Wow, man. And, I mean, they had their chance. They've had their chances. They had Coach K's final run. Caleb Love took them down. Michigan State got them in those Zion days.
Yeah.
It's really a horrible look for the program. Are they going to get any more blue chip prospects after this? Like Cooper Flag?
Yeah.
You can't blame it on Cooper Flag. He wasn't the reason. I mean, obviously, people are going to point to him. Are you really that guy? All that. He didn't lose the game.
Yeah,
Proctor.
they're one of the top recruits coming in.
Yeah, they're
They're
going to be all right.
This kid named Boozer. I think it's Carl Boozer.
They only got one of the Boozers?
I think at least one of them. I don't know, but
I know there's two. They were playing in the All-American game the other day. I wasn't really watching it, but
yeah.
I know those Boozer twins are good. So
yeah, I mean, like, why do you think Duke struggled in the clutch? I think like it was because they played in a weaker ACC all throughout the season, and they just weren't used to playing in these close games where like Houston was like, we've been in these games all year. Like, we always find a way to just get it done. They just had that faith and belief and the culture that Kelvin Sampson has built there. Like, there was never a doubt in their mind that they were coming back, even though at the end of the game with a minute left, I'm sitting there saying, like, please, Houston, just cover for me. Cover the spread. And then all of a sudden it changes. So
right? I mean, he said it after the game. They just wanted to keep it close, feel good coming out of halftime, and they thought they could win it down the stretch, and that's exactly what they did. Cryer was huge for them. Dude, Cryer was huge. And I think Duke, you've got a point about the ACC. I think that's probably it. Houston played in a lot of tougher games. Cryer was ready. Cooper Flag, like, he was good. But, I mean, did they really need a second guy to come through late in games all year because they were in the ACC? Probably not.
Yeah, and if, like, what's his name? Absolutely no-showed. They relied on...
Proctor was horrible.
Yeah, they relied on Proctor a lot all year, and he just gave them nothing. Like,
he was lights out all tournament, but, I mean, the 3-ball, 0 for 4 in this game.
You could tell he couldn't get into the paint at all. Like, all these big Houston defenders, they just were so big with their wingspans and length. Like,
number one defense in the country.
yeah.
I mean, I said it when Cooper Flag was going for that go-ahead bucket with like 19 seconds, whatever it was. I said, I mean, number one defense, this is when you need it. This is exactly what teams like that are built for. Keep it close, and let your defense pull through. And LJ Cryer, man, I want to talk about him. 5 for 8 in first half field goals. The rest of the team was 5 for 23.
Yeah.
So he kept them in it all first half. And then
6 for 9 from 3.
Dude, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Timely, too. He went on a run at the end of the half, multiple threes, along with one from Milos Uzan to close the gap, kind of, headed into half, kept him in it, and then comes out of the second half, hits a big 3. They missed 7 of 8 field goals mid-second half. They went down 14, but Cryer took over, man. He took over, and Duke went cold. 0 field goals for over 7 minutes. They were up 6 with less than a minute. Knupel missed that layup. Then Houston, all of a sudden, dude, the sharp 3, the putback dunk, the free throws. They were just more built for this, and I think that goes to what you said. I mean, Duke played in the ACC all year. Didn't prepare him for a game like this.
Yeah, and I think, like, it goes to say something like defense wins championships, and, like, that saying, and, you know, this was a classic example of, like, one of the best offenses versus the best defenses, and for a while there, it looked like the offense had it, but I think this win speaks volumes to coaches that emphasize, you know, just rebounding and doing the little things right, because, like, all these guys weren't ranked as high as these Duke recruits, and all these guys have an edge to them, and congrats.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the rebounding. They won that rebound battle 42-31.
Yeah.
Juwan Roberts was huge with 12 on the boards.
Yeah, even like Tugler, he was in a little foul trouble, so he didn't play a ton, but he had like 4 blocks in 25 minutes, which is like pretty good. So Houston, they also knocked down all their free throws, like 80% pretty much at the line. So, I mean, you look at the shooting in the game, both teams shot worse from 2 than they did from 3. You know, Houston shoots 45% from beyond the arc. That's definitely the difference maker, but they shoot 37% from the field. Same thing with Duke, 39. They shoot 41% behind the arc.
Yeah.
So it's so weird.
And Duke, I mean, I want to just emphasize credit to Cryer, because Sharp, he was 3 for 7 from 3. But you look at the rest of the guys, Tugler and Roberts, 0 for 0 from 3. Off the bench, there was 0 threes. It was Uzan 1 for 4, Sharp 3 for 7, Cryer 6 for 9. I mean, dude, unbelievable. They did play tough, well coached, extremely, but to go 5 for 23 as a team from the field in the first half and have one of your guys go 5 for 8, that's just such a difference maker. So credit to LJ Cryer. I mean, what a dog. How old is he? Is he a junior or a senior? He's a senior, so experience too. I mean, Duke's a young team. Houston, they bring back their guys. So, yeah, just a beautiful job by Kelvin Sampson, LJ Cryer, all these guys.
I was most surprised, like, you know, like Houston, they always seem to, like, hold teams to their pace and, like, slow the game down and play these low-scoring games. And I didn't know if they were going to be able to do it, but credit to them, they hung in there and they did it. So
they did. And I didn't know if the approach was going to work early. It was just a lot of Cryer shots. I was like, man,
they had like 6 points, 10 minutes in the game. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, it was like, man, Uzan and Cryer are really going to just have to hit their shots, and Cryer did. But I said it at the beginning of the game. I was like, guys, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to just hit all these shots that they're taking. It's tough shots, guard shots.
Yeah.
And they came through, so credit to them. Anything else on this game? Or Florida Auburn?
Oh, would you I don't know. Would you think people complain about the refs?
I don't think so, because I know people are upset about the Duke thing, but the one takeaway or the one instance that I was like, man, the refs messed up, it was Duke's advantage. They
the kick ball.
Yeah, they kicked ball and they said it was out on Houston. But no, that was out on Duke, and Duke got the advantage. So.
Yeah, I'm right with you. Don't be blaming the refs.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you kind of need the refs to have an upset like this, you know?
Yeah.
Usually the refs are kind of on the bigger, more favorable side, like Cooper Flag and Duke. You think the refs are going to be on their side.
Yeah, which they were for a little part of that game.
That's what I'm saying. So no credit to the refs.
One more thing I wanted to touch on, too, before we get out of this game. If you look at the stat sheet, you look at Kaman Maluak. He was supposed to be, like, this great center. And sure the one thing they really focused and told him coming into this game, they're like, you got to rebound the basketball, dude. You got to rebound the basketball. And he didn't grab a single rebound.
Wow.
Like, that's very disappointing.
There's no defending this, but the one thing I will say is there was one play where he kind of batted it and Cooper Flag got it, and he had that beautiful reverse layup. But, I mean, it wasn't his rebound. It was Cooper's. So, yeah. Dude, 0 rebounds?
Yeah.
What?
Only had 2 shot attempts. I know, like, they were trying to get him some lobs, and he was having trouble. But, I mean, coming into a game that, you know, you have to bring your most physical game of the year, and you don't grab a single rebound. That's terrible.
Terrible, dude. One more thing. Proctor, those late free throws, dude. That really, what was he, 60% for the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of came through. I was like, oh, man.
No, I think he was 80% for the season, but 60% in the tournament.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, dude, free throws. Is he a freshman, I believe?
Yeah.
Nah, he's a junior, actually. Wow. So, wow. And Sion James, a senior. Those two guys, James couldn't inbound the ball. Proctor couldn't knock down his free throws. It's kind of interesting. I mean,
yeah.
Wow, just too much reliance on freshmen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, disappointing from Duke, but I'm not complaining. I love seeing upsets like that.
I was happy to see Duke lose.
Yeah,
so.
dude, one of the best outcomes, one of the best games I've ever watched in college hoops. That was just so exciting.
Yeah.
The magnitude of it.
Like, I was getting ready to leave, like, my friend's house. I was like, I was getting my keys, getting my jacket ready.
Like, this game's over.
And I was like, yeah, just making sure. So,
all game, it felt like Duke was going to pull it out.
Yeah, it felt like Duke was just waiting to blow it to, like, 20.
Yeah.
At all.
I mean, they were up 14.
Yeah.
But, yeah, credit to Houston, dude.
So,
what'd you make of the Florida-Auburn game?
Yeah, another great game. Auburn leading by 8 at half, and then Florida comes out of half, puts the Jets on. Walter Clayton just took over 34 points. They get the job done against Auburn like they did during the regular season and throughout the SEC tournament. So, I mean, sorry. I thought, like, the Gators, they really struggled. It was really underwhelming. They always, like, find a way to stick around these games, but, like, it's not, like, pretty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Condon wasn't great. Richard wasn't great. It was a lot of Clayton and Elijah Martin.
Yeah, and even they had trouble getting Clayton the ball.
They
too.
did.
Like, they were saying on the broadcast the whole time. They were like, man, they're denying everything.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Houston plays that because this Florida offense goes through Clayton so much. I mean, you get a lot from Martin, from Haw, but Clayton, he's their guy. 18 shots. Dude, He was unbelievable, though. 11 for 18, 5 for 8 from 3, 34 points.
Some of those threes he hit were like, I was just like...
He's on one, dude. He's arguably the best player in this tournament. He probably is.
Yeah.
Cooper Flag, amazing, but hey, look who's in the national championship. Look who's stayed consistent. Clayton, man.
Saying he's having like a Kemba Walker type run I've seen.
Yes, he
online,
is.
Which
he is. I mean, there's been no like crazy game winner, but at the same time, he's taken over these games late. It's not like these have been blowouts. No, he's been going against elite teams, taking over and winning his games.
Yeah.
One thing, my thing coming into the game, I knew Janai Broome was going to do his thing, but I mean, it was going to be a guard thing. Pettiford, 1 for 6, 7 points. On the other hand, Clayton, 11 for 18, 34 points, 5 for 8 from deep. It was Walter Clayton, man. I mean, it was going to be which guards were better, and Florida's guards were better. Janai Broome's going to do his thing, but I don't know. This Auburn team, they really didn't have it on the perimeter. Todd Pettiford was supposed to be it, but, you know, there was too many instances in this tournament that warned me about what was going to happen. Against Michigan State when he went like 3 air balls in a row, I was like, okay, this team's not going to beat Florida because they don't have the guard play.
Yeah. No, I mean, Florida, without Thomas Haw, Elijah Martin, and Walter Clayton, they lose that game. Like, the other 3 starters didn't really give them anything between Condon, Chinyelu, and Richard. Richard gave them a 1 for 6. You know, Chinyelu, he doesn't really score much. So, I mean, I don't know. I just, like...
Yeah.
Like, versus Auburn, like, they got the job done, but it's never been, like, this convincing fashion. I don't know.
It hasn't been.
Or, like, UConn last year, they steamrolled all these guys. And I know, like, you aren't supposed to win every game by a lot, but I don't know.
And, I mean, this is the number 1 team in the SEC. Walter Clayton's playing so well. But yeah, you're right. This isn't UConn last year. Like Houston could very well come in and beat them. Duke would absolutely be favored. Duke would absolutely be the favorite if they won that game against Houston. But Houston, I mean, they're minus odds, right? So this isn't like a gimme for Florida. This isn't
Florida's
a game.
only 1 point favorite, I think.
Yeah.
So this is a pick 'em pretty much.
A little bit surprising because they've been the best team in the SEC all year. The way they're playing, but yeah, it's kind of turned into this is Walter Clayton's team. This isn't necessarily a dominant team.
Did you think Broom looked a little injured? He didn't look exactly right.
He definitely did.
Yeah.
He was 100% banged up.
His arm did not look right.
Mm-mm.
He looked like just stiff walking around,
It's what happens to these big guys, man. I mean, it's hard to stay healthy. He reminds me a lot of Anthony Davis in so many aspects. His health, the way he plays on both sides of the ball. Obviously, he's not Anthony Davis, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the college level, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was disappointing from Auburn. But Broom, I don't know what else you could have asked from him. Baker Mazzara was solid. Situationally, he could have made some better decisions, but he was solid. Miles Kelly didn't have his greatest night. Denver Jones 1 for 5 from 3. Cardwell was all right. But, yeah, Todd Pettiford, he's supposed to be your guy that you kind of rely on carrying the ball.
Yeah, come off the bench, get some points.
Yeah, he just couldn't do it.
The 3-pointers, too. Like, they shot way more threes than Florida and made less, so
that's insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, credit to Broom. He did as much as he could, I think, but in the end, Walter Clayton, this Florida guard play was just too much for Auburn.
Yeah. What game you like watching better between the two of them?
Oh, Duke Houston. That was one of the best sports games I've watched.
Yeah, Duke Houston. But I mean, this was a great game as well on its own.
It absolutely was. Watching Clayton take over, but the magnitude of that Duke Houston game. Like, that gets the whole country going. Duke gets upset with Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
And it looked all game. I mean, they kept it close enough to keep people engaged. But it was also like, man, Duke's going to pull away. Duke's going to win this. It's over.
And I feel like the old heads, like the 90s, 80s guys, love watching that kind of basketball. They're like, yes, this is what I want.
Houston's going to be the pick for those kind of guys in this tournament.
Yeah.
Even if they've watched Florida. Clayton, dude, is he going to be able to get it done against this number 1 defense?
Yeah, so, like, looking forward to this game, originally first in my bracket, I picked Florida to win.
Okay.
And the reason behind that was because I was like, hey, they're the best team in the best conference. But now you have the best team in the second best conference there, and they've beaten some really good teams to get there, like between Duke and who else? They played Tennessee. They smoked Tennessee. Yeah, they absolutely
Houston did.
So they whooped up on the 2 of the top 3 teams in the SEC. So I think Houston, they got a real shot to win this game. And if I had to redo my bracket, I think I'd pick Houston tonight.
You know what's insane is I made one bracket pre-tournament. I didn't submit it as I told you because I was up late working on it. Till 4 a.m. that night, the night before the game started. At 12 they started, and I wake up at 12:30. I'm like, I can't believe it. But I had Houston beating Maryland in the championship. So I mean, it's kind of nice that I had Houston in there. Obviously, Maryland went nowhere, so it wouldn't have mattered. But it was cool to have Houston. A few of my friends, multiple of my good friends, showed me their bracket. They're like, yeah, I'm still going. I'm like, dude, what? You had Florida and Houston? That's cool. Marcus, another one of my friends texted me. I'm like, man, dude, good for you guys, because I had Maryland in the national championship. I don't know what I'm talking about. So.
Yeah, I mean, normally it's never all the 1 seeds, but this is the best Final Four / championship we'll probably get.
Exactly, but I mean, I'm not. Are you surprised that it ended up all 1 seeds?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Because I'm surprised 1 didn't fall off.
Yeah, Who would you expect it to be? I don't know. Definitely not Duke or Florida. I don't know. I guess Florida has kind of been, weirdly enough, Clayton's carried them.
Yeah.
They've been in games.
They won in the first round or the second round against UConn by 1 basket.
Right? And it was Clayton. Clayton had to take over. Yeah. And then who did they play after that? They played Michigan State right after that? No, my bad.
Yeah, let me find it.
Florida played, so they played UConn, and then they played Maryland.
And then they beat Texas Tech, who Texas Tech absolutely fell apart.
Yeah, but it was Clayton, dude. It was Clayton.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just taking the ball, saying, "F it, I'm taking a 3."
Yeah, I gotta think, to be honest, like, Houston's won these games pretty convincingly based off their formula, where Florida's had a little luck.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Just relying on Clayton taking over, luck from the other teams. Dude, I mean, Houston, they had a bad shooting night against Purdue, and they still pulled it out with great coaching. They shot 9 for 23, 23 for 61 from the field, 37% from the field against Purdue. They still pulled it out. Due to Kelvin Sampson.
And I felt like Florida had trouble with Auburn's size and defense. Like, where are they going to have trouble with Houston? So
number 1 defense in the country. I kind of want to take Houston.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
I mean, Clayton, dude, that's the thing. Is like Clayton is really like that. He's really like that. He's the reason Florida's here, the number 1 team in the SEC all year. But I don't know, Houston just beat Duke. They found multiple ways to win games in this tournament.
Yeah, and that's like a win that like once you win that, you're like, all right, no one's stopping us. Like who, like this next game, even though like it's just as big, it's probably like, hey, like Duke was probably like, people are gonna remember that Duke game probably more than this next game.
My thing for this game is, what can Cryer do? Because if Cryer has a game like he did against Duke, I think Houston wins it. If he doesn't, I think Florida wins it.
Yeah, and like if Cryer doesn't play as good as he did last time, he just needs like a little help from Sharp.
Or Uzan, both of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, if you can get that help from those guys, I like your chances too. But I don't know.
I think, like you said, though, it comes down to guards again. Like
I kind of think Clayton's just going to give you 30. He's going to find a way.
Yeah.
Cryer, I don't know if he's just going to find a way to give you 30.
Like, if they can hold Clayton, knock him off his game, and get him to get maybe, like, 30 points. Or, sorry, like 20.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be a good
I just don't know
outcome.
if they can.
Yeah.
Nobody's been able to do it. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Who's your pick?
Official pick is Houston right now.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I want to go Houston because I feel like they can just pull it out with their defense.
I'm switching up on my bracket pick.
I don't know. I'm going to go Florida. Because I think Clayton's not going to be stopped.
Yeah.
Even though, Houston, you think you're getting the best role playing, I'm taking Florida and Walter Clayton. He's been so good.
I can see either happening, so.
Same here, dude. So,
yeah.
No complaints. I'm just hoping for a good game. But yeah, anything else you want to touch up on the college scene?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, that's.
I think so. I think this game's going to come down to Cryer or Clayton, and I think Clayton's going to be better.
The guards and rebounding. Like, I wouldn't be surprised tonight. Like, you'll probably be able to tell within the first 4 minutes if Florida's going to be able to handle that Houston pressure on the glass. And we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, because Florida's front court, as I've said, Clayton's carried. The front court's been kind of disappointing.
Yeah, that center. Even though he's like a big 7-footer, he's a little slow, and I don't know, with a little size, like those Houston guys, they're different, man.
They really are. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to hold him on the glass.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch. Yeah, the Masters.
It's like my favorite golf tournament of the year. I don't know about you. It's just when all the casuals come out, but hey, right?
That's how it goes. It's like the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Who you think can win?
I'm not going Rory because you know how he gets in the Masters.
He actually sucks there.
That's what I'm saying.
Also, like DeChambeau, he never does well there either. He's going to be a popular pick. But I mean, it's boring to say the favorite's got to be Scotty. He's won two in a row.
I'm taking him to 3-peat, dude. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I like hearing about him in the media. He's funny. He's always doing something. So I'm going to go with Scotty. Rory just feels like a horrible pick. Feels like a horrible pick right now. He never shows up.
Some other guys like John Rahm that are on Live.
He's always a guy.
Schauffele too. So I don't know. It could be interesting, but definitely something we'll be watching for. I'm looking at the odds here. Wow, they got Spieth really high. But yeah, that'll be fun to watch.
Absolutely. What else do you want to get into? Some NBA?
Yeah.
All right. So there were some nice games yesterday. The Lakers killed the Thunder, actually.
Yeah.
They were hitting everything. They started out 10 for 12 from 3. When you get Luka coming out hot and you're hitting all your threes, who aren't you going to beat? That's kind of how it goes. The Thunder, they've been through a long season. They don't really care about these games anymore. I can only imagine. J-Dub, though, sometimes can be kind of worrying. You know how I feel about this Thunder team, and you know how you feel about this Thunder team. They're obviously amazing, but I just think there's too much competition in the West for them to do it when they've never done it before. I don't think... I mean, obviously Shea's amazing. I just don't think J-Dub and Chet are good enough to be 2s and 3s on championship teams yet. I don't. And then the rest of the guys, like Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Hartenstein, Dort, Wallace. Like, these are good guys. They're great role players. But they're nothing like what the Celtics had last year and what the Celtics still do have when fully healthy. I just think they're going to run into too much. I think some teams in the West could put a stop to them as well. That's just kind of where I'm at with the Thunder. Obviously, they're great defensively, but it's on the offensive side of the ball. When Shea's getting blitzed, Shea's seeing multiple bodies. I don't think Jalen Williams is going to come through for you. I don't think Chet Holmgren's all that right now.
Yeah, like they maybe 1 or 2 years they need.
That's what I think, and I think they're going to get it. But, I mean, think about all the draft capital they still have, all the young capital that they still have. They could go and get Cooper flagged for all we know.
Yeah.
Which I kind of think they should, but, I'm not even going to get into all that. I just don't think it's... there's no denying what they've been this year. Number 1 net rating, number 1 defense, number 3 offense. Since the All-Star, they've been the number 2 offense and had the number 1 record, 20-4. They've been unbelievable. What's it, the second highest net rating of all time?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're up there with the 72 Lakers, the 17 Warriors, the 96 Bulls, teams like that. So there's only so much you can do to argue with it. I'm just saying championships are won in the playoffs, not the regular season. I think they're going to run into some struggles. Last year we saw it when J-Dub and Chet, obviously Shea hooped against Dallas, but J-Dub and Chet, they weren't there to shoot. They weren't there to score. It's a better team this year. I just don't think they're going to get it done in the playoffs.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Like, they'll get to the conference finals, I think.
They could. They definitely could. They definitely should.
Yeah, depending on the path, but I think they'll get to the conference finals at least. And then anything after that's
Who do you think?
up for grabs.
Who do you think is going to be tough? Because you look at the Lakers. I don't like the Nuggets. I don't like the Nuggets. I'm going to be clear about that.
Yeah, let's look at. So there's 2 games that separate the Lakers, who are the 3 seed, and the Grizzlies, who are the 8 seed. So there's 2 games that separate those. If you're the Thunder, round 1, right now you're facing the Grizzlies. That's probably who you want to face. The only other team may be the Clippers that you'd want to face as the 8 seed.
Yeah. I think the Thunder probably take care of both of those. But, I mean, it's going to be tough, They've got, both of these teams have got more experience. They've got great defenses. The Grizzlies have JJJ. The Clippers have the number 2 defense in the league.
But Grizzlies, they're 3-7 the last 10.
Yeah,
they're kind of tailing off here.
I'm taking the Thunder.
Coach firing.
I'm taking the Thunder in 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 6, but probably 5.
Yeah, if the coach firing didn't happen, but
do you like this new guy?
Bets are off. Yeah, I love him actually. Okay. He's awesome. But
so there's this weird thing going on with the Grizzlies where Ja's not very you can't just give him the ball and run the pick and roll. He's not as good as a Trae Young or a Dame Lillard who can pop the 3. So he's obviously going to be great in transition, but to win in the playoffs, you need a good half-court offense. So This guy likes to run a lot more pick and rolls, I heard?
Yeah.
Okay. Taylor Jenkins went away from it?
Yeah, he likes a lot more cutting and all that. He's a European guy, so he likes the more European style of basketball. So I don't know. He's had success everywhere he goes, and he's super young. So I mean, they brought him in as an assistant. When they fired the coach, they were like, "Hey, we want first-year assistant. We want you to take over." So he must know what he's doing. Okay,
and definitely a good move for the future, given that he's going to get some playoff experience this year probably, then carry it into the rest of his career.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep going with him after this, even though the end of the year has been disappointing. We'll see, though.
Okay, but yeah, back to the Western Conference and the Thunder and who they could match up against. I think they take care of both the Clippers and Grizzlies. And what about the Timberwolves and the Warriors, though? And the Nuggets, even? Could those teams give OKC trouble? Obviously, Jokic is going to give anybody trouble. You can't really stop him. But, I mean, Malone actually said his injury is looking even worse. They're hoping to have him back by playoffs. That's not good for the Nuggets.
Yeah, they're 3-7 the last 10. They've had some real bad losses, too.
Since the All-Star, they have the number 21 net rating, number 13 offense, number 22 defense, and the number 18 record, 11-13.
Yeah, they lost to the Blazers last week. They were on a 4-game losing streak right now. They lost to the Spurs. They lost to the Pacers. And then 2 contenders in the Warriors and the Timberwolves. So that's a team that's not playing well at the worst time of the year right now. So
No. They had a chance to beat the Timberwolves, but Westbrook, who's their sixth man, plays so many minutes, but valuable minutes, and with Murray out, he's going to play more. He gave them the game. He missed a layup when he should have held onto the ball. And then he fouls the three-point shooter. What are we doing?
yeah, Jokic putting up 60-point triple-doubles, and it don't matter still.
Like, dude, I know they have Jokic, but there's only so much they can do. And Jokic is as banged up as he's ever been. And then you got Murray, Porter, Gordon. But like I said, Murray's out. Porter, if he's not shooting, what else is he doing? Nothing. Gordon,
Yeah.
he's good, but like, come on, Aaron Gordon, he's not going to create his own shot for you.
No, yeah, he's like a lob threat. That's it, really.
Yeah, dude. And then it's Christian Brown, who's good, but he's Christian Brown. When they won the championship, they had KCP as that fifth starter. They were healthy. Porter was shooting lights out. They had Christian Brown,
Murray's a big difference maker.
Yeah, dude, he's amazing. But they had Christian Brown and Bruce Brown and KCP starting. This year they have just Christian Brown, and then it's like Peyton Watson and Westbrook. This is not the same team as 2023.
No.
I'm worried about him. But yeah, like you said, Murray, dude, he's such a difference maker. When you have Murray and Jokic, I mean, you're good. Like, you have a go-to. But without Murray, you're putting so much on a banged-up Jokic. I just don't like it. I think they could be a first-round bounce, but they could also win any series because they have Jokic. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of writing them off. What about the Warriors?
Yeah, I like the Warriors, of course. They just... Didn't they have a big win the other night?
They did. They beat the Lakers. Huge game. Pachevsky had like 30. Lights out from 3. They've been the third best team in the league since the All-Star break. 18-5.
Yeah.
Number 3 net rating. Number 3 defense. But in their 20-3 with Butler and Curry both in the lineup. 14-2 with their starting 5. Curry, Pods, Moody, Butler, Green. But last night, dude, the Rockets held Curry to 1 for 8 from 3. 1 field goal. 3 points. Butler did nothing in his relief, which is kind of what worries me about the Warriors.
Yeah, sometimes Butler will give you nothing. That's the thing.
Like, is he going to give you 10 to 15 points per game, or is he going to give you 25 to 30?
Yeah, no, and
It's
you
looking
don't,
like 10
you
to
don't
15.
know. Yeah.
And it's looking like 10 to 15. It's really underwhelming because I said about this team, I'm like, whoa, yeah, Jimmy Butler, I don't think he's been trying this year, but man, maybe he's just not that good. It sucks to say.
Yeah, the Warriors.
But there are 20-3 with Butler and Curry, so it's like,
I'd rank them above the Timberwolves for sure.
okay.
Yeah, and then like, let's see.
Right now, I think it's OKC number 1, Lakers number 2. No, who's number 3 now? Is it the Nuggets, the Warriors, or the Timberwolves? And then, the Rockets are amazing, but are you taking the Rockets in a series against the Warriors, Timberwolves, or Nuggets? I don't know.
No.
And even if they do, they're not going all the way. They don't have the half-court offense. The Rockets don't have the shooting.
No.
You look at the three-point percentage in the league of all the teams, and it's like the top half is the good teams, the bottom half is the bad teams, plus the Rockets.
Let's do a little Houston spotlight here for a second.
Okay.
Houston, they're 8-2 in their last 10. They beat the Warriors, they beat the Thunder, and then the one loss was the Lakers, and that was a 6-point loss. But I think that's a team that's really like ahead of schedule right now. Like, what do you like? Obviously, like in the playoffs, like, be awesome if they win a series, but depending on like the matchup with how competitive the West is, that might be tough. Really,
It's going to be.
It's probably like a 6 or 7 game series for sure.
They're so big and so versatile, and they play such great defense, but it's the half-court offense and the shooting for me, and the youth, and Jalen Green being your number 1 scorer. I don't trust that.
And they play really well at home, so they struggle more on the road. So I don't know. Like,
That's what happens with these young teams.
Yeah.
You don't have a go-to star. Jalen Green's not your go-to star, man. I mean, I know he can give you a fun 20, but he's not. You're waiting for a men's jumper to develop. You're waiting for, the next guy to show up. Jabari Smith to emerge. Reed Shepherd.
I don't know. I think Jalen can give him some time, bro. I think he can do it. If you give him like 3 years, maybe he can get a little more efficient.
But you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
He's 23. Give him some time.
He is. But like, look at where the rest of the team's at right now. Like Sengun, he's so good. Amen Thompson is going to be so good. Like,
Yeah.
Amen Thompson, the way he runs, he'll steal the ball from you on defense. He'll get ahead of everybody on offense, and he'll get a crazy dunk finish or a really good pass for an assist. Once his half court game comes along and he can shoot, which it is coming along. He's like 50% from 3 in his last 10, but he's like 27% on the season. It's gonna come along. He's gonna be really good, but it's not yet. It's not yet. And when you go to Jalen Green, I don't trust him to be that efficient, that great of a scorer. Like when you need a bucket.
Yeah, he'll give you like in a playoff series, if you played 7 games, you probably get like 3 or 4 good games from Jalen Green.
Yeah.
And then like 3 or 4 not good games.
Yeah, dude. And I agree. And when he scores, it's like, yeah, it's fun, but he can't create for others. It's a little inefficient. So like when you double team him on a road playoff game late, he's probably gonna, not find the open guy, not make the right play. In my opinion, I don't trust it yet. Do you hang on to him and he can be, one of those scorers for you long term? Definitely, maybe. But I don't trust him as your number 1 scorer right now.
I don't know. I think they play it out. I think they'll play it out for next year. But
Okay.
here, I saw this stat. Sorry.
No.
But it said, so teams against teams with 60% win percentage or greater, their records. So the Thunder, they're 19-4 this year. It might be 19-5 because of last night. Cavs 8-5, Celtics 8-5, Rockets 11-8. So they're kind of in their first tier, and then the second tier is Lakers 9-7, and the Knicks 8-7. So I just like that makes me concerned about the Lakers for some reason. Even though like the Doncic trade happened, I don't know how many of those were
They've been so
before.
banged up, LeBron and Luka, that you're kind of banking on what they've given you at their best. You don't look at the lows for the Lakers. You have to, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like they've been very banged up. You can't really judge them when they're not fully healthy, in my opinion. But they only have so much like experience playing together that it's kind of worrying. But I don't know. I just look at this Lakers team and I'm like, man, LeBron and Luka, 2 of the top 7 players in the NBA, 2 generational guys with the ball in their hands. You got Reeves, who can give you 20 and 6 as the third option. Most teams, you're worried. The Thunder, you're worried. Do they have a second option? The Lakers, they have a third option. And there's worries about their defense. There's worries about their size. But they throw Dorian Finney-Smith at that 5, and they run small ball. And they've got 4 guys built like power forwards, so they can kind of handle it.
Yeah. It's like a team rebounding effort.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
So it's interesting. The one thing I'll say about the Lakers is that you can't have Luka and LeBron both taking possessions off. You can't have 2 guys not playing defense.
No.
But
I was gonna ask you, what do you think like with the Lakers? Like, what do you think? Say like this doesn't work out this year. Like, what do they do in the summer?
I think you just retool. Maybe. Maybe
you definitely have more options at like a free agent center.
Yeah, you probably just get a big, right?
Yeah, and then like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Do you trade Reeves? Like I don't think so, right?
No, I don't think so.
Like
he's so good offensively that it's like whatever about the defense. Let me see what centers are available on the free agent market this summer. You got like Clint Capella, Brooke Lopez, Miles Turner, Naz Reid, Steven Adams.
I could see them bringing in like
any of these.
Clint Capella on a cheap.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
if you can, dish out a little bit more money, maybe you can get Miles Turner and Naz Reid. They stretch the floor, they guard the rim, they do everything.
Imagine Nas.
Dude, that'd be perfect. Nas or Miles Turner.
Nas on the Lakers.
That'd be perfect. It's just about can they afford it.
Minnesota will pay him.
Yeah, they probably will.
So,
they better.
So going back to Minnesota, like, do you think people overrate them a little bit? Like, so is it just like a given that Anthony Edwards is going to go on this ridiculous run again?
No, it's really not even. No. But he's reached this level of statistical, just like he's so good, man. Like 28.
Such a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, dude, 40% from 3 on the season.
He shoots a ton.
Let me see. Pull up his ESPN. Yeah, dude, he's 27 points per game, 5 assists. good defense, 40% from three on the season, 45% from the field. I think he's kind of reached that level of like definitely top 10 player. He's not a top 5 player. Maybe that holds him back. But I'm not even worried about Ant. I love the size they have. I love Ant. I love the shooting they have, the length, everything. The one thing I'm worried about is Julius Randle as the second scorer because we know Julius Randle. He's just how good is he, man? I mean, I guess the Nuggets the other night, he had a good stat line, but he sold the last shot, an opportunity to win the game in regulation. He's just not that good, man. Like
he was the number 2 on the Knicks, and the Knicks gave him up.
It didn't go well.
And they couldn't get past the second round.
Yeah,
so.
dude. But the one thing is that the Wolves are 3-0 in April, 14-3 with Randle since March 1st. He didn't play in February, but 24-9 with Randle since January 1st. That's a 73% win percentage. Would put them on track for 60 wins. It would be the second seed in the West.
It's crazy.
They've been really good with Randle. But I'm not even willing to really buy in on it.
Because it's crazy. The whole first half of the year, Randle didn't really fit in great. And we were talking he's a free agent. He's definitely walking. They aren't going to get anything for him. Where now, there's an argument to bring him back. So.
I think right now it's really about what's he going to do in the playoffs? Because I think if they lose and don't have a great playoff showing, he's the reason.
Yeah, first round bounce, he's gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If even not, I don't know. I mean, if they get by the Rockets in the first round, which I think they will, and then say they lose to the Thunder or the Warriors or the Lakers or one of these teams, even the Nuggets, I think Randall's going to be the reason behind that because he wasn't as good of a second option as they needed him to be. So if he's not, and he ends up being the reason the Wolves don't do great in the playoffs, yeah, let him walk, dude. Let him walk. Because that's what I'm worried about with them. Despite the really good numbers this year with him, I think if they fan out in the playoffs, it's not because they don't have enough size or defense or offense. I just think it's Randle, you know? He has a lot of pressure on him to be that second scoring option, and I just don't know if he's going to come through. And if he doesn't, let him walk. If he does, I think they might win the championship. But, yeah, dude, Randle, I think if he comes through as that second scoring option, the Wolves may end up in the finals. If he doesn't, they may end up in the first round going out or the second round going out. And then you got to move on from him.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about Randle. But, yeah, this will definitely pick it up anyway, and that'll definitely pick it up. So I don't know.
Damn, I'm so pissed, dude.
Dude, that's what it happens in here, bro. It's we don't have, this, grade A technology, so we got to do all the extra stuff. That's what happens. That's why Zoom's sometimes better. But, dude, imagine we could I wish we could record our audio on this. It would be, we can, but it just doesn't really go through. And, that's how it goes. But, right now, we're not even recording on this. It's just, there's way too much we got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes we're better on Zoom, but I don't know. It's good. This is going to pick up regardless. So I'm not worried.
All right.
But, yeah. So, just to round out the West, kind of, do we want to really quick just rank our Western Conference? I feel like that's kind of the best way we can put it into. All right, so number 1, we got the Thunder.
Yeah.
Okay. I have the Lakers at number 2.
Power rankings here. Let's go.
Yeah, just little power rankings headed into the playoffs.
So Thunder 1.
Thunder 1, Lakers 2. Who's 3? I think it's
I'd
between
say the Warriors.
I think they're arguable. I think the Warriors and the Timberwolves and the Clippers all have an argument. All of a sudden, the Clippers and Rockets, man. I mean, I told myself I wasn't going to give in to them, but look at all these other teams kind of fanning out and being disappointing. Yeah. The Warriors have given us so much to like, but they've also given us so much to dislike. What is Jimmy Butler, man? They're 20-3 with him and Curry. They're amazing, 14-2 with their starting lineup, but I don't know in the playoffs, man, when you need them against the Thunder or the Lakers or the Timberwolves or one of these teams. Even the Rockets at this point. They beat them last night. I don't know. I think the 3 for me is the Timberwolves because I think they're going to take care of the Rockets in a series. The Warriors, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say I can't put the Timberwolves above the Nuggets.
So you got the Warriors at 3? Yeah. Or the Nugget. Okay.
Warriors at 3, Nuggets at 4, Timberwolves at 5.
Okay.
Me.
I'm going to go Thunder, 1. Number 2 is the Lakers. My number 3 is the Wolves. My 4, I'm going to take the Rockets. I think, I don't know about the Warriors, man. I'll put them at 5, and then I'll put the Nuggets. I'll put the Clippers at 6 and the Nuggets at 7.
Okay.
It's getting so tough. I think those are the clear 7 teams in the West. The Grizzlies have kind of played themselves, fired their coach out of that top 7. But
yeah, there's too much going on there.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Thunder, Lakers, Wolves, Warriors. I'll go Rockets at 4. Warriors, Clippers, Nuggets.
Okay.
If Murray comes back, the Nuggets are a completely different team. But I don't know.
Yeah.
This West is just so tough.
Yeah. I just can't put Jokic that low.
I get you. I don't blame you, dude. I don't blame you. But you look at what the Rockets have. They run Sengun and Adams out there, and they're successful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they could get lucky in a playoff series. But the only teams I can see coming out of this Western Conference are the Thunder, because I can't say they can't.
Yeah.
The Lakers. And the Timberwolves. And I could see the Warriors in some universe doing it. I've been the highest on them, but I can't, dude. I can't. I don't like what I've seen from Jimmy Butler, man. I'm sorry.
I feel ya.
But yeah, dude, I think the Wolves just match up so well that if they get a good Randall playoff, they're going to the finals. If they don't, they're not.
Yeah.
I'm not putting my money on Randall, but I just don't believe in any of these teams, man. I mean,
Randall's next contract is riding on this playoff run.
It really is. Like, he could be a max contract, or he could be a guy that nobody wants.
Yeah.
Nobody wants.
And he might just end up like on Toronto or Brooklyn or you know what I mean?
One of those terrible teams that makes terrible decisions.
Maybe he goes to Charlotte.
He may end up there. But what else do we got? We got 2 minutes. Do you have anything else you want to add, or I have another idea if you don't?
Not really, no, shoot.
Okay, so let's just let's do some start bench cuts for like 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right, so we got the Ringers, just complete list of NBA players. Let me pull it up. All right, well, I got mine. So let's start bench cut. Shea, Giannis, Tatum. I gave you a tough one to start. I don't even know.
Start Tatum.
I'll start Tatum too.
Sit Shea, bench Giannis. Yeah, just say Giannis can't shoot.
Yeah, dude. I agree.
Does everything else the best. Like
you know what? You know what? Start Tatum, bench Giannis, cut Shea. Because I haven't seen Shea do what Tatum and Giannis have done, which is come through in the playoffs and win a championship.
Very true.
But at the same time, you could say Tatum hasn't come through in the playoffs, and you could say Tatum hasn't come through in the playoffs, and you know his team's come through, and Giannis hasn't had the team, so you can start Giannis. I don't know.
Yeah.
Giannis, Shea, Tatum. That's so interesting. We'll leave it to the comments. Get a little clip going with that. What about?
All right, I got one for you. Sabonis, Jokic, or Towns.
I'll start. Jokic, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Sabonis or Towns. I'll start Cat, and I'll bench Sabonis. But the thing with them is Cat, you know, he gives you amazing offense, but the defense is really, really questionable, and it can hold your team back.
Yeah.
Sabonis, he gives you rebounding, he gives you this playmaking, but he's not a great shooter. He can't shoot. He's not a great shooter. He's not like a great defender.
Yeah.
I'll take Cat. I love it. I'll take his offense.
Okay.
What about Cade, Ant, Mitchell? I'll start Cade, man.
I'll start Ant, sit Cade, bench Mitchell.
I'll start Cade, bench Ant, cut Mitchell. Just because of what Cade gives you as a playmaker. Ant's done it more than Mitchell, and probably gives you a little bit more than Mitchell versatility-wise.
All right, I got one more. For point guards, Halliburton, Trae Young, James Harden.
I'm cutting James Harden. This is really tough. I actually wanted to talk about this at some point. Halliburton, I think, is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. I think he's a 1B on a championship team. I think he's an elite playmaker. He runs a top 10 offense himself. But you know how big of a Trae Young fan I am.
Yeah.
I think he's also a 2 or a 1B on a championship team, despite the defense. Let me start
numbers too.
Let me start Trae Young. I think he's just a better scorer.
Okay.
And bench Halliburton. What about I'll give you one more, and then if you want to give me one more, if we have time, doesn't matter to me.
All right.
Booker, Brunson, Durant.
Durant, Booker, Brunson. Just because I don't like small guards.
That's so fair.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna answer that. I have no clue,
Brunson's
dude.
good, man.
It's tough.
I'm just still gonna take the 7-foot small forward freak.
I don't blame you. I think if you give him a team, he gets through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that
wraps it up.
about does it. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening. We'll be back. I feel like we'll probably be back before Monday if we can do a Zoom or something. So
yeah, we'll recap the national championship, some other stuff. So
100%. So peace out, everybody.